Champs, two-time that is, will start their season on a Thursday night. But on this Thursday night, no starters on either side. That includes #1 overall pick Caleb Williams. Bears brass has seen enough. Tyson Bagent instead getting the start in Williams' place and solidifying his case for QB2 against his body. Finds Simba Webster for a 44-yard gain later in the drive. Bagent, a Bayesian of chaos. We need you healthy, fella. Gets the pylon, touchdown. We take another look. No, it wasn't. Ruled down at the 1. Very next play, more steal. Chiefs down 10-7 after the PAT. Time winding down now. A bridged Hall of Fame game got things going, but wins over the Texans, Bills, Bengals, and Chiefs here in the preseason mean absolutely nothing, but the depth in Chicago once again on display. Kansas City winless in the preseason, but all eyes fixed on a three-peat. CBS Sports NFL writer Tyler Sullivan in with his thoughts from the night. And Tyler, I'm going to start with that Indy game, specifically Anthony Richardson. We saw some of what makes him exciting and some of what might make you pull your hair out of your head at times with him as your quarterback. What did you see in terms of the good, the bad, and maybe the middle ground that Anthony Richardson would be better off occupying this season as the starter?
Yeah, you highlighted it there. It was the full Anthony Richardson experience, minus the injuries that we saw last year, because that was really everything that encapsulated him tonight. It was just an absolutely sensational start. I mean, he missed one pass, was able to lead them on a long touchdown drive where he looked extremely sharp. I mean, it wouldn't shock me if fans were looking at that saying, I wonder what his MVP odds are, because that's what he looked like at the start of this game. Perfectly on time. There was a number of fantastic throws to Alec Pierce. He had one to A.D. Mitchell for the touchdown later on in the drive. He was really on point. And then all of a sudden they came out for the second and third drives and he completed one pass for the rest of the game. And you're wondering, oh boy, I was just looking up his MVP odds. Should I now fade the Indianapolis Colts win total? It was quite the up and down for Anthony Richardson. And that's really the story with him right now. He is a quarterback that completed under 60% of his passes in his limited showing last year, but you do see that raw ability that made him a top 5 pick not too long ago. So right now for Shane Steichen and the rest of the staff, it's a balancing act of trying to highlight the things he does well, but also limiting that exposure to maybe where those inconsistencies start to pop up.
Yeah, the body language there told you that was miscommunication on an inside option route with one of his wide receivers there. Try and get those things ironed out because the top end of that talent is so incredibly high, and this comes on the tail end of some joint practices with the Bengals. A war of words there. He lands the first punch. Maybe they get the last laugh. He finished 8 of 14, 86 yards, the 1 touchdown, the 1 INT. Let's keep talking QBs. We didn't get to see Patrick Mahomes or the comparison point in Caleb Williams on this night, but Tyson Bagent, with those first couple of drives, really looked solid and really looked like the Bears' #2, was thrust into action last season in the absence of Justin Fields at time, but then you had a Brett Rippon really comporting himself nicely early on in this preseason. Do you think we have a solidified #2 in Bagent for the Bears?
Yeah, I think so. And you mentioned it as well there, building off of last season as well. 2-2 as a starter. He's completed 65% of his passes. You see him in this game. He kind of reminded me of like Taylor Heineke going back to his Commanders days where he's rushing for a touchdown in that playoff game against the Bucs with that diving touchdown on the right side of the field. And really, overall on time, I thought all the Bears quarterbacks played particularly well in this game, but clearly to me, it feels like he has the inside track to be QB2. And the floor that he gives you, I do think is something that's important. Obviously, we don't want to talk about Tyson Bagent or Rippon or even, Austin Reed beyond this week. It's the Caleb Williams show. We really don't want to talk about them going forward. But overall, he has shown you that he can come in under duress and really perform at a capable level. Of course, it's not going to reach the heights as, say, a Caleb Williams promises to be. But overall, you do feel really good as your QB2 going forward.
Yeah, you got to be too deep just about everywhere. And the Bears, throughout this preseason, say what you may about a 4-0 record or the competition that they played against, certainly showed a bit of depth on that roster. Another kudos to the roster building of Ryan Poles and what he's put together there in Chicago. An exciting season, hopeful ahead, that is all contingent on the play of that top overall pick. We do assign winners and losers even on a night with only 2 games. Take me to your winner who walks away from Thursday night feeling the best about what they put on tape.
Yeah, he was in the highlight. Carson Steele. I mean, he is everything that you want for a perfect summer story. In this game, it really solidifies, I think, his roster spot. Not only is he making plays out of the backfield in a physical sense, but also he is making plays on special teams as well. For an undrafted guy out of UCLA, that's the type of stuff you need to do to make the roster. And overall, I think he's made a tremendous case, not in just this game, but all summer.
All right, you've handed out a W. You got to hand out an L. I know it's a thankless task, but you're a loser on this night.
Yeah, we already mentioned him, but Anthony Richardson, because I just think he has such variance, like we were saying. You know, you're talking about MVP, and then you're talking about maybe fading the team in general. But I do think that he has such a wide range of outcomes that it is scary to kind of project this team going forward. You see that pick six in that game. It was really just, you know, a mistimed throw. And those were the warts we saw last year. Again, as much as there is talent-wise, and that ceiling is so high, I think that floor is awfully low as well. As much as we look at the AFC South this season, and as much as we're looking at C.J. Stroud and Will Levis going into year two after promising seasons to varying degrees, you know, what is Trevor Lawrence going to do as they bounce back after a rough end last year? I think the story could be Anthony Richardson, because if he reaches those heights, he might blow out of those quarterbacks out of the water. And if he doesn't, they may be looking at a last place finish. There's just such a wide range of outcomes for Anthony Richardson, and this game really didn't temper those fears.
It certainly did not. Tyler Sullivan.
In a deal with their division rival Washington Commanders. The third-year wideout had 49 catches for 518 yards and 4 touchdowns last season. Dotson figures to slide behind the Eagles' talented duo of A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith on the depth chart. Philly will send a third-round pick and 2 seventh-rounders in the 2025 draft to Washington, with a fifth-rounder coming back to the Eagles along with Dotson. The Dotson deal was one of 3 trades that went down on Thursday as teams start to wrap up training camps. The Commanders made a deal with the Browns, acquiring kicker Cade York for a conditional 7th-round pick. And the Seahawks moved veteran cornerback Michael Jackson, sending him to the Panthers for rookie linebacker Michael Barrett out of Michigan. Barrett will reunite with coach Mike McDonald, who coached him for 1 season as defensive coordinator at Michigan in 2021. The Kansas City Chiefs and Creed Humphrey have agreed to a massive contract extension, making him the highest paid center in league history. That's according to multiple reports. ESPN reports the deal will pay Humphrey $72 million over 4 years, with 50 of that being guaranteed. Since joining the league as a second-round pick in 2021, the 2-time Pro Bowler has yet to miss a game. Over in Atlanta, the Falcons continue to invest in their defense. They signed cornerback A.J. Terrell to a 4-year, $81 million extension and makes him the second highest paid corner in the league after Green Bay's Jair Alexander. The Falcons have loaded up on defenders the past few weeks, trading for linebacker Matt Judon and signing free agent safety Justin Simmons. Meanwhile, the Jets are gearing up for their preseason finale against the Giants on Saturday. Head coach Robert Saleh saying Thursday that the Jets will not play Aaron Rodgers or any of their other starters. A bit of a change for Saleh, who played starters alongside Rodgers in 2023 and alongside Zach Wilson in 2022 and 21. Here's more from Saleh on his decision.
Different reasons last year as compared to this year. I'm not going to get into those, but I feel like we've gotten so much work done, so much good work with 3 quality opponents over the course of 3 weeks. Last year we didn't scrimmage with the Giants. This year we've had 3 different scrimmages, and I feel like the amount of work we got in has been very productive.
Is there a QB competition in Foxborough? Well, depends on who you ask. Head coach Gerard Mayo reiterated on Wednesday that rookie Drake May is still competing to be the Week 1 starter. May has yet to consistently rep with the first-team offense, however. Now, why is that? Well, Patriots offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt answered that on Thursday.
Jacoby, right now he's our starting quarterback. So, the good news is this week we'll get to play everybody. We're still in the evaluation process. We have 1 more preseason game, and our guys are going to play, so we'll have another chance to evaluate.
Is there still a chance for Drake to be the Week 1 starter?
I'm sure. Coach said it's open competition. Obviously, we have 1 more game to go. That I'm sure there's a chance. But I think as you go in, there's still a process of how you bring a rookie quarterback along. So I think that's important to remember as well.
Well, as for the Steelers, Russell Wilson and Justin Fields are still battling it out for the starting spot. They have 1 more chance to impress in the preseason. The Steelers will head to Detroit to take on the Lions on Saturday afternoon. Here's more from Mike Tomlin on where things stand.
will Russ start? And is there any more clarity going forward about whether he's in the pole position or the starting?
Nothing's changed in terms of the positioning of those guys, and yes, he will start.
What do you want to see out of Justin in this game?
You know, I want to see him show some of the things that we've seen out here in the practice setting, much like I've talked about the offensive unit. We've had some really good days and shown a really high floor with the potential for splash plays, and so I want to see it in the stadium.
Well, 3 games coming your way on Friday.
Chào mừng các bạn đã đến với kênh YouTube của mình. Hôm nay là một ngày không đẹp trời cho lắm, nhưng mình vẫn tiếp tục gửi tặng đến các bạn những tác phẩm thật là đẹp và tuyệt vời. Và mình mong rằng các bạn xem video của mình thì hãy ấn like và đăng ký kênh để ủng hộ mình, để mình tiếp tục lấy động lực ra video. Mình xin chân thành cảm ơn các bạn rất là nhiều. Bây giờ mời các bạn cùng theo dõi quá trình mình tạo ra video của mình nhé. Xin mời.
Xin chào các bạn, ngày hôm nay mình sẽ tô màu nha. Như vậy video của mình nó kết thúc như vậy. Mình sẽ đi vào chi tiết cho các bạn. Ra để cho cũng làm cho họ nhớ cái nhà đó đăng vào trong thư luôn đăng lại. Ra đây không nó đóng này. Phải đi vào trong đấy mình chơi. Đóng cửa vào cho bạn, đóng cửa vào. Đóng cửa. Đóng cửa. Nào đóng cửa mà.